All right, welcome to 402 Biblical Counseling Online with Fruitland Baptist Bible College. I want to welcome you to this introduction video that will get us started with an awesome quarter ahead for this semester at Fruitland. My name is Peter McDonald, and I have the joy of being able to lead this class, facilitate this class, share with you from week to week, and watch you grow as biblical counselors and ministers in your ministry context. I want to go ahead and get started with this introduction to the course. I'm very excited that you would join us for another quarter here at Fruitland. By means of introduction, my name is Peter McDonald, and I have the joy of leading 401 and 402 Biblical Counseling Online. I formerly was on campus in Hendersonville when I was in ministry in the Western North Carolina area. But since then, I moved on to pastor in Pittsburgh, North Carolina. I'm the senior pastor at Pittsburgh Baptist Church. You can see my just details about me in the welcome or class introduction forum. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about myself. I really just want to talk about what to expect for this class. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my screen. I'm going to share with you the syllabus for this quarter, so that you can see what's going on this quarter for our class. I'm hoping that I can get rid of this virtual background. Yep, this is all Zoom stuff. Looks like we're ready to share. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and enlarge this screen. And here we go. Perfect. Now we're on. All right. So this is the syllabus for the course. This is 402 Biblical Counseling. Again, this syllabus is available for you on the student portal, so you can always go back to it. I'm just going to go and put this out there for those that have had classes with me, and for those that are new. I am a stickler to sticking to the schedule. I want to make sure that we accomplish everything that we set out to accomplish with the quarter. So I don't typically deviate a lot, unless, of course, it's warranted for the course. But here you are with the syllabus. We have our purpose statement as a school, but also the details for this course. So our course begins January 10th. Goes through March 17th. We're going to be online, so you get to enjoy that freedom of having an online course. However, there will be a couple of times where we will try to meet together as a class through Zoom. Okay, we're in the winter quarter 2023. Can't believe we're in a new year already. My information is located there for you. If you need to contact me, I have Fruitland email, but also you can text me. This is my personal cell, so you can feel free to text me. If in fact you can't reach me through text or through email for some reason, I don't know why, but if you can't, ministry assistant, her name is Pam Rommel. She's here at the church. That's her email address too. She's way better at responding to emails quicker than I am, way quicker. For the description, course description, we are building upon a foundation that we started with Biblical Counseling 401. In 401, we learned that everyone is in need of redemptive ministry, including the counselor himself or herself. So we talked about just the basics, the foundational basics of biblical counseling. We talked about how biblical counseling uses the Bible to help people navigate through their circumstances. So we're building on that foundation. We've talked about the theology. We've talked about the basic theology of God and how the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are agents, major agents and game changers in the counseling scenario. We talked about the Word of God. We talked about having a biblical counseling purpose statement, and we talked about having a code of ethics in 401. So basically what we're doing is we're building upon that foundation That was laid in 401. And now we're going to learn how to serve and minister to others in need of counseling in a variety of circumstances. So if you were looking forward to case studies and scenarios and what would you do in this moment, this is the course that we're gonna venture into those things. So some course objectives. We want to understand that all people need redemptive ministry. We want to embark on a journey of making personal choices in our own lives that encourage redemptive ministry while helping others to do the same. So, just as we're going to minister to others in this course, I'm really encouraging for you to receive personal ministry yourself. Okay, so we're going to embark on that journey of helping others, but remember that the healthiest of counseling ministries are those that have healthy counselors. Okay, we're also going to see the church's role. That's actually our first session is seeing the church's role in being a part of counseling ministry. And then we're going to continue to learn and better understand the theology behind biblical counseling. And then we're going to acquire the necessary skills to competently counsel others in diverse circumstances. We have two textbooks for this course. The first is Heath Lambert's Theology of Christian Counseling. You use that in 401. So this course, you're going to see some repeats, chapters you've already read in 401. That's perfectly on purpose. We're going to be using that textbook though for our personal reflection discussions. Also, some of our themes, we will want to go back to Lambert's text. But we have a new textbook this time around. It's Robert Jones, Kristen Kellen, and Rob Green's book, The Gospel for Disordered Lives. And so I'm waiting on my copy to arrive. I've got the digital copy that I'll be using until it comes. But I encourage you to go ahead and pick up that read. This week we won't be necessarily looking back into Jones's text. However, in weeks to come, we will be looking at Jones's text. So the Gospel for Disordered Lives. I want you to make sure that you pick that up. I want to make sure that you have it ready for weekly discussions and for your personal read, but also for your research to come later when we do that project. The course outline is pretty straightforward. First week, we're going to talk about the church and biblical counseling, and then we break down how we help people. So we're going to be counseling those who hurt. We're going to be counseling those who struggle with hangups. We're going to be talking about counseling those who are in habitual sin. Hurts, hangups, and habits are taken from what would be Celebrate Recovery Ministry. I've helped to lead Celebrate Recovery in a former ministry. I'm also certified to help teach in Celebrate Recovery. Celebrate Recovery is a Christian version of AANA, but uses those 12 steps that are applied in AANA and applies. Excuse me. Had to get that out. Uses the 12-step program to get us to the Bible. So the 12 steps are biblically aligned, and so hurts, hangups, and habits are how they categorize the needs of people, and that's what we're going to be using for this course. You'll notice the different subjects. We're going to counsel those who hurt, so we're going to talk about in weeks 2 through 4 helping those who have suffered from abuse, sexual sin, and an unforgiving spirit. Weeks 4 through 6, the hangups, we're going to talk about anxiety, depression, worry, and codependency. And then weeks 7 through 9, we're going to talk about substance abuse, idolatry, and pornography. So those are the areas that we're covering this quarter. As it is with every course, I am open to suggestions for new content, new lessons, feedback, and things that you would like to see us. So if we don't discuss a subject that you would have liked to have covered, please make mention of it when we do our Zooms. Maybe we'll have time to discuss it then. Maybe in video, I'll be able to discuss a question that might come up about another topic. I realize that this is not exhaustive of every possible biblical counseling subject that we could cover. However, we're going to cover 9. Now, with this course, as it is with all other courses that you take at Fruitland, to receive credit for the course, you must complete and participate in all reading assignments, quizzes, tests, and papers. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I know we can't coach effort. However, you've got to give effort. Okay, so please, to get the best grade possible, to get the most out of the course, you've got to do all the assignments. So please make sure that you're engaged with the reading, you're engaged with the discussion forums, you're engaged with the quizzes and the tests, and of course the paper that is assigned. So attendance, the way I mark attendance is through your participation in discussion forum, the video forum that's due every Friday of every week. Okay, so on Tuesday you're going to get all of your assignments for the week. Friday you're going to make a post, an initial post. That post and your interaction with your classmates will reflect your attendance grade, which the stakes are a little higher this quarter, because I don't want anybody slacking off, and I want you to be as engaged as possible with your classmates. It's fair to them, and it's also the best thing for you. So every week you're going to have a personal reflection and case study to cover. You're going to be given subjective questions that reflect upon this week's content. In addition, I'm going to present a case study, which is a scenario. You're going to be asked to record and discuss your findings and thoughts from the reading or the assignment in the discussion forum on Moodle. Each student every week is expected to complete their personal reflections in preparation for class the following week. So your initial post to the prompts that I give are going to be 300 to 400 words. Now, I know that when you do the case studies, you may want to write more, and that's perfectly fine. Just know that all that's required is 300 to 400 words. That's less than a page, okay, each week. It's not a lot, to be honest. I write, gosh, I write 4,000 to 5,000 words a week. So let's not say, oh, it's too much. It's too much. And initially, you will cover that 300, 400 words quickly. Okay, so they are due by Friday every single week. You're going to want to respond to 2 classmates the following Monday, and those responses are just 100 to 150 words. They need to be academic. When I say academic, that means that you are using proper grammar. That means that if you use research or an article or a book for, that deserves citation, that means that you're giving credit to that author with a citation. I'm also looking for academic discussion. So that means that you're not just, you like someone's post and you say, well, I agree with that post or I disagree with that. You need to say why you agree or why you disagree. So be thoughtful in your responses. Talk about what you like. Talk about what you dislike. Talk about what you agree with, what you disagree with. Make sure that you're respectful, and make sure that it's constructive as well. So you're expected to respond to 2 classmates by Monday the following week, in addition to your original post. And if a classmate responds to yours, respond back to them. Be cordial. Respond back to them. I too will be making posts from time to time. I will respond to a student. Student may respond to me. I might make an initial post myself to give you an example. However, if you respond to something that I do, I will be cordial and respond back to you. Just make sure that we're keeping this discussion going throughout the week, especially with those case studies. I'm going to present a case study to you and or a scenario to you. You're going to post what you would do in that situation, but you're going to post that you would do so biblically. And also do your homework. Make sure that you're giving responses that have substantial research. Okay, so that's the bulk of the class. These reflections and case studies, these carry a lot of weight. So you're going to want to make sure that you pay heavy attention to how you respond and how you interact with your classmates. And of course, your original post is the most important thing. Next is this redemptive ministry project. So this is a new assignment that I've created for this quarter. This because we're using a new book, and this is also the first for me. So one of the stated goals for this course is to embark on a journey of making personal choices in your life that will encourage redemptive ministry, but also will help others to do the same. Now, we're going to do something called a redemptive ministry project. And this is your opportunity to select a topic that is personal in nature to your own redemptive story, or a topic that motivates you for study. So if you'll look at part 4 of the Gospel for Disordered Lives, you're going to see a slew of topics. I mean, a lot of different topics. You're going to choose one of those topics. And what you're going to do is you're going to write a 6 to 8 page scholarly research paper that expounds on that topic. So here's what the project's going to look like. More than just a research paper, this is going to be reflective. This is going to be a part of your story, part of your testimony. This is going to be also utilized to help others in ministry who may go through a similar scenario. So here's the basics of this research project. One, you're going to research the topic and then provide the following sections for scholarly research. One, basic description and definition of the topic of study, with descriptions of its causes, symptoms, consequences, and complications. Now, we obviously know that when people go through trauma, they go through division, they go through hurt, they go through pain, things like that, addiction. We know that at the base of it all, it's rooted in sin. We know that we live in a fallen world. We know that hurt people hurt people. We know that we go through some of the busted up things that we go through because we need redemption. We need Christ. And so obviously that's going to be one of the causes. However, I want you to go even further. Okay. Do your research. I know that sin is at the base of it all. I know that. I want you to state that. However, I need to go further. So if you're talking about causes, don't just say, well, sin is the reason. Talk about why sin is the reason. If you have a scenario that talks about depression or talks about abuse, talk about the causes of that abuse. You may want to research. You may want to research the background of an abusive father. You may want to research this person struggles with addiction, sexual addiction. What are some of those causes? What are some foundational causes there? Did they have a pornography problem? Were they sexually abused as a child? Those are all factors. So please do your homework, do your research. Don't just say sin is the problem. We know that sin is the problem, but go further than that. Talk about symptoms. Talk about consequences. From said behavior. Talk about the complications that come from said behavior. Second, you want to give a biblical perspective of the topic of study. The biblical perspective you will see as when you look into your Jones text, you will see a biblical perspective on that. You will see passages that address. So what I'm looking for are what does the Bible say about your topic, but also do some exegesis, break down a passage, look at what the Bible has to say, and let's do some Bible teaching there. Next, let's talk about the path to redemption and restoration. These are action steps that can be taken in biblical counseling to help the individual forward. This is one of those things where, okay, if I'm going through this or I see someone going through this, what steps should I take to help them move forward? All right. And again, if you're giving biblical counsel, you have to use the Bible as your methodology to help them make those steps forward, help them take those steps forward. So the path to redemption are action steps to lead them through their problem. And then there's going to be a personal testimony section. You're going to share why this topic interests you and how it relates to your life and ministry. And then this final section that's with the project is a deeper understanding that shares additional resources, places for ministry help with a specific topic. This is the basis for your project. All right. So when we talk about writing a paper, I know that we could do a huge paper and it could be far more than this. However, I'm asking that you keep it in the 6 to 8 page parameters. believe that you can do that. That would make each section roughly a page and a quarter long. Obviously, the biblical perspective side of things changes that. You're going to want to spend a little more time there. You're going to want to spend a little more time on your path forward. But I just want to see that you have some parameters on the paper, because everything that you write, I've got to read. Okay, and I grade your papers substantially. I want you to get good feedback. I want you to grow as a writer. I want you to get truth, with a truthful response for your paper. You want to adhere to a Turabian style. If you're not familiar with Turabian style, there are lots and lots of resources out there, so make sure you research it. Primarily with Turabian style, it's all about the format. Okay, I'm looking for you to follow the format. You need to have at least 8 scholarly resources in this paper, meaning that you are using articles, books, websites, commentaries, journal entries. I will not accept Wikipedia. I will not accept WebMD. Okay, so please, let's get into some scholarly work. Let's get into some writers that have PhDs and doctoral theses and theses, and use books that are not just popular, but also are scholarly in their research. So if you're using a commentary, use the best commentaries out there. Okay. If you're using websites, I don't want somebody's blog. Okay. I'm looking for a website like the Gospel Center, Gospel Counseling Coalition. I'm looking for you to use Logos. I'm looking for you to use commentaries that have scholarly input and background. So while I like Warren Wiersbe, he's not necessarily scholarly. While I like John MacArthur, I'll take it. But you can do a step above. Same thing with Charles Swindoll. You can do a step above. New American commentaries are great resources. The Christ-centered exposition commentary, a great resource. Why are they such great resources? Because they have scholarly input and study. Okay, journal entries are also great too. Tons of free resources online there as well. The paper must include the following sections, and when I say sections, I mean that the paper needs to be organized into these sections. So you're going to have an introduction section, and it needs to be noted. Introduction in bold. The introduction section should tell me what you're going to do with your paper. So that includes your thesis. A basic description of the topic being addressed, biblical perspective, the path to redemption and restoration, your personal testimony, a deeper study, and then conclusion. These are sections that should be highlighted through your paper. The paper needs to have a title page, and the paper needs to have a bibliography page that gives credit to the sources that you use. Footnotes are required. I will accept internal citations, but footnotes are required. Major headings are required to best organize the paper. The paper must be written in Times New Roman font, 12 point. Last quarter, someone wrote a paper in like size 16. I will not be very happy about that, mainly because you're failing to follow directions. Okay, the directions are simple. We're following a Turabian format. We're using major headings to keep it organized. We're using footnotes. We're using a title page and a bibliography page. I'm just looking to see that you can organize a Turabian style paper, because I'm telling you, after you leave Fruitland, you're going to be writing scholarly papers, and they're going to require you to follow a specific format. They might use MLA, they might use APA, which is my personal favorite. They might use the SBL like I'm using at Southeastern right now. I'm having to learn a new format myself, but please follow the format. I've given you an example of a Turabian styled paper on Luther Rice's website. Look it up, use that format, copy their format. That's perfectly fine. Copy the format, use it there. Make sure you use page numbers too. That was a big miss last quarter. Use page numbers too. Get into the habit of formatting your papers in Turabian style. The ministry project, the Redemptive Ministry Project, is due week 8. No ifs, ands, or buts. It is due on week 8. When I say it's due on week 8, that means it's due the Monday at the end of week 8. This time around, I am not accepting late work. I can't do it. I don't have the margin for it this quarter. I'm in a writing project myself. My chapters 2 and 3 for my thesis are due, or dissertation are due this quarter as well. And so in order for me to be able to grade everybody's paper on time by the end of week 10, I really need everybody turning in their assignment week 8. From this point forward, you have an entire quarter to write this paper, to write 6 to 8 pages. This is the major assignment for this course. I'm not asking you to do book reviews. I'm not requiring a lot of extracurriculars, but what I am asking you is to respect the timeline. So it's due on week 8. If you happen to turn it in late, it's going to be a substantial deduction on your paper, and it's going to be the last priority. Okay, so please make sure that you have it turned in due week 8. It's actually at the end of week 8, so it's technically a day before week 9 starts. You've got plenty of time. Let's make sure that that's 56 days, okay, to write 6 to 8 pages. I know you can do this, okay? It is the major assignment for this course. It's actually the only extracurricular one I ask you to do. So you will have quizzes weeks 2, 4, 6, and 8. The quizzes are very simple. They do not take a lot of your time at all. The quizzes are based off of our reading. The quizzes are based off of our notes and thoughts. It helps to hold us accountable to the things that we're reading, the things that we're learning. Quizzes are simple. Everybody does well on them. Easy peasy. 2, 4, 6, 8 is usually when I require for the quizzes, weeks 2, 4, 6, and 8. You'll have 2 exams, a midterm and a final. The exams are a collaboration of your quizzes put onto one big test. So they have equal weight, equal value. Exams are given on weeks 5 and week 10. The final exam is actually an essay. It's an essay exam. You're going to be given three prompts, and you're going to choose one of them to write on. That's how the final exam will work. And then this last thing is about Zoom conferences. I love Fruitland. Fruitland has been a part of my life since I was a student in 2007 to 2009. When I graduated Fruitland, I was a part of the board of directors a couple of years after that. After I was a part of the board of directors, I was brought on staff as a professor. I taught youth men, and I taught biblical counseling on campus. And now I'm a professor online. Fruitland has been a very, very special part of my life. And the thing that I love the most about Fruitland is the one thing that I'm not getting to experience by doing an online class, and that's connecting with the students. I'm thankful that God has blessed us with means of being able to meet together without having to be together in person. So one component of the course, and I'm still trying to, work out and see that we do it at least once, if not twice in a quarter, are through Zoom conferences. So a way for us to connect will be on weeks 4 and week 9. The dates are listed, January 31st and March the 7th. We're going to have the opportunity to gather together for Zoom. We're going to meet for 40 minutes roughly to discuss various biblical counseling topics. I might have an article to share with you. I might have an extra scenario that we can talk through together. You might have a question about a specific counseling scenario that we did not cover. It's a great time for us to be able to do that and work through that together. Also, I'm wanting to make sure that I answer any questions that you might have pertaining to the course. So this is an opportunity for interaction with one another, also interaction with myself. So the conferences are going to begin at 11:15. We're going to be concluded by noon. And I need you to understand this too. They're not required, and they're not factored in course grading. However, the opportunity to connect with your professor, the opportunity to connect with your classmates in real time is highly encouraged. So go ahead and mark these dates and make plans to join us for these Zoom courses. You'll be glad that you did. They'll be extremely helpful. And it's an extra opportunity, to be with one another, to meet with one another. So I'll provide you a link. Most likely we'll do that in the class announcement section. The link will be provided. You'll get an email, click on the link. You'll be able to you'll be able to join in with no trouble at all. All right. So the grading for this course is listed in this way. You've got 25% of your course is going to be with your discussion forums and reflections. That's how much I value your input and you sharing with one another. So make sure that you do those. It's a quarter of your grade. Quizzes are small part, 10%. Midterm and final are equal at 35%. And then that redemptive ministry project is a big deal. It's 30% of your grade. So I do want you to make sure that you pay close attention to getting that in on time and fulfilling its requirements. I do want to note that I grade the redemptive ministry project two ways. One is an actual grade. The actual grade is what you would make if you were studying at the next level. So that's where I'm a stickler for grammar. I'm a stickler for the format. I'm a stickler for word sentence structure. I'm a stickler for misspell and not taking time to review your own work. I'm also going to be using my own template of did you use the correct number of sources that was asked? Did you, or that was required, that were required? Did you make sure that you used the headings? Did you have a thesis statement? Did you follow your thesis statement? Did you use footnotes and citations for your exam? Did you plagiarize or not? Like all of those things are going to be factored in the actual grade. So that's going to be one grade. But then there's going to be this grace grade that's given where I really want you to do well for this course. And there's more to this course than how you do on this one project. So the grace grade is a curve, basically a curve. And I want you to take the grace grade as your redemptive ministry project grade, but I want you to see your actual grade so that you know how it would be graded if you were in university seminary styled courses. I would even venture to say that I'm even more lax than a university or seminary professor would give you, okay, or what you would earn. So keep that in mind with the grading. Everybody last quarter did a great job. Okay, those that finished the course did a great job. I think everyone made an A or a B, or were borderline BC. Okay, so everybody did just fine with the course. Do your very best. I promise you, you'll do fine with the grade. The grade is not the most important thing. All right. You see the ridiculously crazy Fruitland scale. Their grading scale. I didn't make this up. This is what the school does. This is more of a D-Min PhD level scale. However, it's what Fruitland uses, and that's perfectly fine. I give you the breakdown of each week for the course schedule, all the readings that are required. There you have it. Okay. So you can see what you're required to read each week. Notice there's some weeks where you only have to read one chapter or two chapters. Some weeks might have a couple more. Just depends on what we're studying, depends on the content that we're studying. Lambert's text is a good read, as well as the Gospel for Disordered Lives. I think you will enjoy reading those textbooks. Let's see. That is everything for the course. Remember, biblical counseling is broken people helping other broken people find healing through the power of the gospel and in the power of the Spirit as they apply the living principles of Scripture to life. That's from Ernie Baker and Jonathan Holmes. Powerful statement that summarizes what we're going to be doing this quarter. If you have made it this far to the end of the video, congratulations. I'm finished talking now. So hope that this was a thorough introduction to the course. Very excited to get started with you this week, and I wish you the best. If I can be there for you to pray, to encourage you along, to coach you along, to give you a boost, hey, let me know how I can be of help to you. I'm honored to be working with you this quarter. I pray that we have a great quarter together, and I'm looking forward to what God has in store as we press on in studying. Notice in my background, this is just a background. I have an office wall behind me, but notice in my background that there are some cameras Cameras are all about perspective. A picture can tell 1,000 words, or so they say. A picture tells a story of 1,000 words. Well, when we think about ministry, you're going to have quite a few perspectives to work through. You've got the perspective of God. You've got the perspective of His Word. You've got your own personal perspective, but also sitting across from you in the conversation is the perspective of the person that is in need of redemptive ministry. We want to put all of those perspectives together. Foundationally, the gospel and what the Word of God and what the Lord has to say about it is the primary perspective. But we put all those perspectives together to help someone move forward in redemptive ministry. That is the goal of this course. I'm looking forward to it with you. God bless you, and I look forward to week 1. Take care.